Oh yeah, Noah, you took the words right out of my mouth. When I'm looking at Doran, first 2 years as a head coach at Northern Illinois, 2 bowls. First one in the GoDaddy Bowl, and then he had a 9-year tenure and counting with NC State. He's very quick at building rosters. In 2013, he went 3-9. Next year, turned around, went 8-5 to get to the St. Petersburg Bowl at beloved Tropicana Field and clinched a victory.
Baby. Shout out Dickie V.
Look at that. Like, he was really tremendous. And the big thing we're looking at this, Spencer, he's only had 2 losing seasons. In the season after, he's turned it around. In 2018, went 4-8. 8-4. Uno reverse card the next season. He just knows how to rebuild rosters.
Soon time, BC's quarterback will look blank against SU.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this, BC's quarterback will look clueless against SU, Noah. And I'll tell you why, really. Like I said earlier in the show, he's thrown an interception in every single start that he's had. He's been terrible against ACC play. And really, he looks like Forrest Gump when he was younger in those movies. He's wearing braces around his legs. He can't even move. He got negative 16 yards against Louisville. Negative 16. He can't run the ball out of the pocket. He can't pass the ball. He underthrows it all the time. 17 for 32 in that game. He just sucks.
Well, I mean, once again, the guy's got a family, I think.
Oh yeah, Spencer, talk about some North Carolina barbecue. Garrett Schrader is great on the ground, but that's why Virginia Tech was kind of standoffish here with the Tampa 2 when he had to pass the ball. 2 safeties, all of this really space here for the 4 wide receivers to get in here. And it's Courtney Jackson taking advantage of that space in between all of these covers here, making that play happen with the curl route. And really, Garrett Schrader against Virginia Tech, first time he threw for over 200 yards since October of 2019 because he had that space. And BC's not going to give him that space. We saw a game last week against Louisville. Malik Cunningham, the quarterback who's also a run-first guy, and they're not scared of it. Sending all that pressure, and we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys really stacking the box, forcing him with pressure to make the play. And you saw Josh DeBerry on coverage on the 3rd and 7, making sure that they could get the job done. 70% of 3rd down stops were good for BC. 14th in the nation, making sure they can stop those plays. They are eager and hungry to get in on defense for sure.
All right, eager and hungry was my second nickname in high school. 70% is what I got on my psychology test. I'm really sorry, Mom. Now, can you tell me about where Garrett Schrader thrives? May it be on the ground?
Yeah, we talked about how his passing game really isn't the reliable thing because the run game is where he makes his money here. It's his bread and butter because he has time and space drawn out by Dino Babers and the coaching staff. Design play. 4 receivers, Courtney Jackson among others, making those runs, taking away space, giving Garrett Schrader that option to see the field, especially that right side where he's able to see all of that vacated green space and make the run for a 1st down and then some. For if you're Syracuse, that pass game maybe won't be as successful against BC, and the run game surely will be pressed heavily by all of those defensive players. They're going to get in eager early on that Syracuse offense for sure. Yeah, no, well, that was definitely the thought because you go back to last season, this was the team with the best turnover rate in the country, 24 in 11 games. But you come into this season, if you got a rush game that's as good as it is, with Sean Tucker leading the nation in rushing yards and Garrett Schrader with the 2nd most rushing TDs in the nation, haven't even started all the games, like that's what's going to have to drive you over the hump in the future. Honestly, Nick, when I'm looking at this, it was an okay effort. I'm not really convinced by what happened. Because, like we said, and Stephen, you touched on it especially, it was an FSU side that deviated from their identity in the first half. At one point, they were 2 for 24 from beyond the arc. They finished the game 4 for 31. They tacked on 2 at the end. So they tried shooting a bunch of 3 balls, a bunch of jumpers and stuff, and really, they could have been able to use their size down low, driving into the paint. So, enigma, really, for me.
But should SU fans be worried about the start?
Yeah, as a whole for special teams, Noah, like kicker Andre Schmidt has always been a good guy, right? 60 field goals, most in Syracuse history, but the drop-off continues. Our punt returning from Trevor Pena, he was pretty much a guy that came in. He's a sophomore now, and he only averaged 4 yards on his returns. And then when we go into the punters themselves, these aren't the days of Nolan Cooney or Sterling Hoffrichter. When freshman James Williams got nervous, Dino really played a 2nd-string punter, Colby Barker versus Rutgers. He was an Ohio State lacrosse player. 8 yards on that punt. It's just doesn't get any worse.
Well, Jared, he gave a souvenir to a fan, a little silver lining there.
He can do anything he wants.
Yeah, Spencer, Demario Douglas, wide receiver 1. Let's go to QB 1. Malik Willis. This is the guy you need to watch. He was a Georgia guy, committed to Auburn, was a bench player for 2 years. Transfers to Liberty, lights it up. He's projected 12th in a mock draft for CBS Sports, and people are comparing him to Trey Lance, Lamar Jackson. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes even earlier. His pace and arm strength could be the next coming of Lamar Jackson. They play a weak schedule, but he has to be taken seriously with his dual threat ability.